Nothing in life is linear, and that includes our education and employment journey. Whether you earned your GED as an adult, decided a four-year college wasn't the right path for you, or you're looking to employ a talent pool of competent candidates eager to join the workforce, you've come to the right place. Join me for Education Unplugged, where I can talk to learners, educators, and employers looking to destigmatize the educational road less traveled. We're here to make a positive impact today and for generations to come. It only takes one person to invest and connect with a learner for their belief in themselves to transform the future. From test taker to change maker, we're here sharing the stories of people who have taken a non-traditional path to a better life. Welcome to our fourth episode of Education Unplugged. I am Vicki Green, host, and I'm honored today to be with Gabriel, who is a GED grad and a recent guest speaker at our GED virtual graduation. I was so incredibly proud of Gabriel and his speech to other GED grads that we wanted to share his story and inspiration with all of you. Gabriel, welcome to the show. It's nice to have you with us today. I'm excited for you to share with everyone listening today your background, your story, and what your GED has meant to you. So with that, I'd love to just hear from you on your story, hear and show everyone your energy and how the GED is helping you achieve your dreams.
First of all, thank you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. But I do have to give you a warning. When I start to talk about things I am passionate about, I tend to start getting a little animated. My voice tends to get a little louder. I start to just get super excited. So if I tend to, pick the volume up, just give me a signal to turn it down a notch, because I am really passionate about my GED and my education. But
Please
thank you for this opportunity.
That's why you're here, because we love your passion and who you are. So keep going.
Well, like I said, my name's Gabriel, and I grew up in the barrio neighborhood called Casa Blanca in Riverside, California. And kind of like my journey to my GED, it started when me working a job for 20 years as a garbage man. Good paying job. 4 years as a dispatcher in between there. And in 2020, a driver at a different yard passed away on the job. And it really affected me that we went to the service and all the garbage men there all had the same sentiment, saying that it could have been any one of us in that casket. It could have been our kids, our spouses crying and mourning. So it had a tremendous effect on me that I had to step back and look at the situation of what we, the frontline workers, were experiencing. And I started to really have my eyes open to certain practices that were unsafe. And so I don't want to make a long story, but I started to write papers and reports about safety issues, and they were pretty much like dismissed. And subconsciously, I kind of thought it was because I was an uneducated Mexican American with tattoos, blue collar worker, and they didn't take what I was saying serious, even though it was a safety issue that I believed not just the driver was at risk, but also the community we serve. Because in reality, not too many people know about the garbage industry, but our place where we work is in your neighborhood, is where your kids play, is where you feel safe. So these safety concerns were super important to me, but I knew that I had to move on from there. But I was so limited because I didn't have a GED, no education, and that's what started me on this journey to earn my GED. And that's where I started to look into it, research it, and I started to taking the first steps. So you could say the scary journey of earning my GED. And I don't know, you want me to go deeper?
Let's talk about that, because I think one of the things that I hear a lot from learners just like yourself is the word scary. It's scary because when you think about education for so many of our learners, K through 12 system was really scary. Whether it was you were bullied, whether you had life circumstances at home, maybe sitting in a chair was just not the right way for you to learn. So unpack scary for everyone that's listening to your story as to why was it scary, and what I know the circumstance of the garbage truck was something that got you started, But what's scarier, not doing it or continuing to stay where you are?
And it was two parts. It was scary knowing that I was going to have to face things that I avoided since I was a young kid.
Yeah.
Of everything that I took for granted, like the education and of course math, the scary monster of math. So I knew I was going to have to face, yeah, I was going to have to face that head on. And it was intimidating to me. And plus, when you start venturing into unknown realms, especially in education, and someone with my background, growing up in the audio, because, my family education was not important, and then there's that cycle in the audio where education isn't really celebrated. It's not really encouraged. It's one of those strange things that they pretty much designate us or just think of us being the next laborer, the next blue collar worker. And there's nothing wrong. That's honorable. That's great. You can make a good living. But there's so many of us that have the potential to be great, to do great things. And the scary part was, of course, the doubting myself, failing my family, and hitting those dark moments where you just want to quit and you think that there's no hope for you. So that was a scary thing, because it was dealing with my past decisions, and if I was going to keep running from, because for years I wanted to get my GED. I thought about it. I was, thought I need my GED. I need my GED, but I never took that step forward to actually pursue it. But in my desperation, because my quality work life was going terrible, the job that was scary too. The unsafe practices, that I didn't want my wife and children to mourn me from dying on the job, for sacrificing my life for a company that, in my personal opinion, didn't care about the frontline worker. But so there was two parts of the scariness, because I was venturing into unknown territory.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so let me give you some data, because this will make you and everyone listening feel a little better, is that there's 40 million adults walking around without a high school diploma right now. 40 million men and women that look and feel just like you did. It's scary. It's really scary to go back and do something. The number one reason that men and women out there today are not earning their GED is, number one, fear of failure, right?
Wow.
Fear of failure is holding everyone back, and it's because it's scary. And let's face it, everyone out there listening is saying, I didn't like school, I struggled in certain subjects, I was not, considered one of the smart kids. All of those things are the reality for everyone listening in the 40 million, but it's going to be scary because you're facing something, just like you said, it's the unknown. But what's scarier is sitting in the same spot, doing the exact same thing, right? That's scarier. And so when I hear your story, when I look at you, you're talking to 40 million other adults out there with the exact sentiment. So what would you tell them? What are you going to say to them that says, yep, you were scared, you don't want to fail, you don't want to show your family and friends maybe that you may make mistakes, you may fall down, but what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them that it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared. It's okay, because courage isn't not having fear, but it's to go forward despite the fear. And despite my fears, my doubts, I had to make that step to go forward. And my kids were watching me. My wife were watching me. Even my parents and my brothers and sisters were watching me. And I wanted to lead by example. And even though it was because of the situation I was in, I still had to face my fears. So I was telling them that it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared, but don't let that fear, don't let those doubts intimidate you to hold you back for pursuing your GED. Because I can wholeheartedly say that facing the fear, facing my doubts, and overcoming them, I have benefited. My family has benefited. It has opened up a plethora of doors and opportunities for me. Like even here right now, I'm actually here talking to a CEO of the GED Testing Center. Whoa, services, whoa, me. So face the fear. Don't let the fear stop you. Courage is still still facing that fear and not running away, but you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I love it. And here's the bottom line is everyone has fear. No one wants to fail, but it's actually the failure that teaches us the most about ourselves. And it's the consistency, showing up every single day, even when you don't get the math question right and you don't maybe get the English question right. And maybe you didn't do the essay exactly the way that it was supposed to. The difference is you have to show up every day. And that's something that you did. That's something that you did, and you did it consistently. And it's how we grow. This is where we get our growth, is doing the hard stuff and showing up. And for me, I think when I look at you and I look at your story, your background is, again, like so many learners out there. What was it that held you back from completing K through 12? What were the life circumstances that may have come in your way to really prevent you from earning your high school diploma? So that, again, everyone listening to this can say, okay, yes, that's like me. I can relate to that story.
Well, this is actually something I thought about deeply, contemplating the different variables, the different circumstances and perspectives. I really wanted to look back at my life and the choices and decisions, and why did I make those, and what led me to where I was. And honestly, I can just say the simple answer of saying that education was not talked about in my family. I got a job at a supermarket, and my family thought, oh, he's set, he's good. Even though it wasn't a great paying job and good benefits, but that was where you can say, I'm not trying to knock any kind of profession, but from opinion, it was like grabbing the low-hanging fruit, where I thought I was capable of more. But I want to go back to that cycle, the cycle of the audio, that we tend to celebrate things that are detrimental to our community, and things that can uplift, like celebrating success stories, celebrating, getting education, getting your GED, the opportunities. It wasn't heard or really mentioned in my neighborhood, in my upbringing, that we celebrated things that would bring shock to people. Like, we normalize things that shouldn't have been normalized in the community, in a family, things that were normalized in the barrios that were, gangs, drugs, and violence. Someone dying young from murder, from violence, was something that we normalized. No, it was difficult. We mourned, it hurt, you cried, but we normalized it. I had my half brother die at the age of 22. He was murdered. My cousin, 15, died when 15 years old. And our local cemetery, Olivewood Cemetery, is filled with young people that have died from violence, have died from drugs. And we normalized it. We accepted it. Just like prison, there are several people that have family members, have friends that are in prison. Like, I think probably every one of us know or have a family member in prison, but we normalized it. And I'm stepping back saying that, no, this shouldn't be acceptable. We should be striving, aspiring to things that are positive, that are beautiful, that are great, that make the community beautiful. And that's what I'm really trying to do. And personally, I like getting inspired. I like seeing stories. I like seeing inspirational stories. Like, that's why I really appreciate what you're doing here by featuring those stories that are inspiring. Just like my friend Victor and Nori, they should have been the product of gangs and drugs. They should have been a statistic of the neighborhood, of the body of life. But instead, they changed and broke the cycle. They both earned their master's degree. My friend just became a licensed therapist. And this is how the cycle breaks.
This is how the cycle breaks. That's right.
Because he broke the cycle, and his kids followed. They're both educated. His son got an MFN, got a master's degree in screenwriting. And currently right now, they're in production. Hopefully, I think next year, they're going to be making that movie, that film, come to fruition. That we're going to see the movie Raza be done. And this is somebody from my neighborhood that, if you would have looked at his life, you would have said, like, oh, no, we already know where he's going. Yeah. Prison or death. But look at him now. He broke the cycle. Stories like that should be celebrated. They should be uplifted. That's what we should be talking about in our communities. people like that family should be celebrated. And I want to be part of that. I
Yeah.
want them to look at me and
Yes.
say, hey,
Yes. I love
you
it.
know,
This is why you're here. This is because we want to celebrate you. And, this is why I think the power is in your story. And I think, again, the power is in the cycle. And there's no way that when you grow up in an environment where education is not front and center, it's difficult to break that cycle because, again, you don't have someone that you're leaning into that has gone on to get their high school diploma, that has gone on to get their bachelor's, gone on. And so it's hard when you're not surrounded by those folks. So, again, breaking the cycle is critical. It's critical. And for you, you're showing your family, your friends, your kids, and generations to come. What does something like that mean, that you are a cycle breaker?
wow. Well, just earning my GED, it's been, you could say, a confidence booster like no other. Um, that it was such an important part of my life that gave me the confidence. I guess I can describe it like the Marvel character Bruce Banner. When he starts, turning into the Incredible Hulk, he starts turning into a muscular, intimidating, strong, confident person. That's the way I felt when I got my GED. I was like, wow, if I can do this, what is my limit? The sky's the limit. Let me keep going. And that's what it meant to earn my GED, because not only did I earn my GED, I went on to earn my bachelor's degree. And not just I earned my bachelor's degree in history and political science, graduating with the honor, summa cum laude, at the University of Presque Isle. And it didn't stop there. This confidence, GED started building up. I started to have confidence in my writing. I love to write poetry, but I was afraid, intimidated to share. I entered a poetry contest and I ended up winning. I was like, whoa, okay, let's not stop. Let's not stop. Let's keep going. Let's keep this momentum going. And right now, I'm currently finishing my book called The Audio Pages, highlighting success stories of my neighborhood, featuring my poetries and reflections. So the GED start the domino effect of confidence and positivity that will affect my family, that will affect my neighborhood and generations. It's it's truly amazing. But it started with taking that leap of faith, facing my fear, and pursuing my GED. And I don't even know if I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I think, well, you did much more than just answer my question. I think I love the superhero analogy because you, in the eyes of millions of others, are going to be looked at as a superhero, as someone that did what it takes to get to the next step, even when it wasn't easy. And one of the things I talk about a lot, because I love your story, I love your the word confidence, and how confidence breeds more confidence, and consistency breeds confidence, and small little wins along the way also breeds confidence and consistency. And one thing I talk about a lot is that in all of our journeys, because everyone has a story, everyone has a journey, some are easier, some are harder, some are paved differently, but I always talk about that one person in your life that maybe you met, that invested in you, or that saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself. Do you have that one person that comes to mind?
I wish I can narrow it down. Um, I am a man of faith. Of course, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ did change me. But my wife, she believed in me when, I don't want to get emotional, but she did believe in me when many times I didn't believe in myself. At times, she was that encourager, that those words that mean so much to keep me going, to keep pursuing. And I told her that I look forward to that look in her eyes when I achieve, or she doesn't give me that look usually because she thinks I'm
Yeah.
looking good, or I look pretty sexy
Yeah.
to her, but not that one.
Yeah.
But when she looked at me as if she's so proud, like
So
saying, I knew it. I
that's,
knew you can do it. Look at
that's
you. You're
really,
doing it. You're doing it. So my wife, and I can't neglect my kids too. My
Mhm.
kids texting me, "You got it, Dad. You can do it, Dad. You got it, Dad." And it meant so much to me. It was something that it was supposed to be me doing that for them, and it kind of like means so much more because we're doing it for each other. We're
Yeah.
helping each other on this journey of life. And it's beautiful when it takes that form. And it's like, kids, now I can say, I'm not just saying do it. I'm saying follow my lead.
Follow my
Follow my
lead.
lead.
I did it. I
Yeah.
did it. I know. Yeah. Powerful. Such powerful stuff. And, you know, when I think about, again, your journey and your story and earning your GED, and a lot of times our learners say just earning the GED was the beginning of their educational journey. And I think you're exactly on that same path is what we recognize. And I think what you recognize is that the GED is once you get that credential, you don't want to stop. It's the beginning of going and getting and going after every one of your dreams. And what I love again about your story is that you are the one person to now millions of learners out there listening and hearing that you are making your family proud. You're making your kids proud. You're the cycle breaker. You're the superhero that achieved all things when maybe that wasn't ever part of your path because again, it wasn't celebrated in the way that, you know, you thought it should be or the way that society should be. And so for me, when I look at you and I look at all GED learners, this is the reason, this is all of our why, is that we want to change the conversation. We want to change the path. We want to change the way that the market looks at GED learners. So as you think about the millions out there and you think about employers looking to hire, as an employer, what would you say to employers around who the GED learner is and what are the attributes of a GED learner? Thinking about yourself in mind.
That's a great question. For what a GED recipient has to endure, the barriers they have to break, the tenacity, the fortitude, the perseverance, the ability to adapt to the situation that they're facing. In my humble opinion, that is what any employer would want in their employee. Someone who's going to show dedication. Because if an employer receives a resume from a GED recipient, that GED recipient is showing that employer that I believed in myself to get my GED, and I believe in your company that it's going to benefit my future because I want to benefit you. I want to bring what I offer. The hard work that I showed earning my GED, you know, that fortitude, the perseverance, I want to give that to you. And that's the way I see it, because I can only speak from my own experience. I can only speak from what I read and heard from other GED recipients, is that those type of qualities you can't buy. They're earned through blood, sweat, and tears. And that's what we offer employers, I should say. It's something that I think that is lacking in the professional world, in workers, that dedication, that passion for what they're doing. So if a GED recipient puts in the resume, snatch it, take it, and hire that person, because you're going to get a hard, dedicated worker. And I truly 100% believe it.
Yes, yes, you heard it here. And I talk about it all the time. You know, someone asked me a year ago that said, you know, what's your one wish for the market when it comes to GED learners? And my wish was that everyone could see the GED learner through my eyes. Because exactly what you said is the GED learner is someone that showed up, and they showed up when circumstances were really hard, and they showed up when everyone in the K through 12 system wasn't in their corner, wasn't advocating for her. And they showed up when life circumstances got in the way, because let's face it, every single one of us is one life circumstances away from a tragedy, from an event, from something happening. And so I love your story. I love what you've done to pursue your dreams. And I also am really admiring what you're doing for everyone listening to this, because again, it takes one person to trigger you to really make and take that next step. So as you sit here today and you're talking to all these learners, and you have learners that are listening that are saying, I know I need to get my GED. I want to get my GED. I'm scared, as we talked about. I'm really scared to do it. Give them something. Give them a nugget that says, even on your worst day, this is what you want them to think about and to know.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a good one. That's a good question. What I'll say, I like to say this a lot, and I hope it resonates. Don't be just the dreamer. Be that dream chaser. Because you could spend a lifetime of just dreaming of what if I went forward, pursued my GED, or what if I took that chance and just faced my fears. You could spend a lifetime of just dreaming, but it's different when you're pursuing the dreams. And it comes out and plays out in a whole different way. Even if you try and it just didn't work out, but you feel confident, you feel good from that experience, like, hey, I tried. Next, let me move on to the next one. And that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. Don't be just the dreamer. Be that dream chaser.
I love it. Go after it. And it's exactly what you did, and I'd love for you to talk to them because your dream didn't stop at the GED. You went on, got your bachelor's degree. So you went on, got a bachelor's degree in history. So talk about that adventure for you, what it took for you to get that, how difficult, because you have family, you're juggling work, you're juggling lots of things coming at you. So tell everyone how you went after and achieved your dream, and you're still going after your dream today.
Well, uh, the, earning my GED, like I said, it was the confidence booster I needed. But my whole game plan was to earn my GED and try to get a job like with another like Caltrans or with the city. And I was once again just trying to limit myself without really realizing what opportunities the GED presented. And my lack of knowledge was holding me back from really taking advantage of what the GED did for me. But when I finally started learning what I could achieve with the GED, like when I discovered that I can actually earn a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited university, I was like, wait, hold on, this can't be true. And of course, GED testing services, they let you know this site from Clifford, College Hack, was huge and instrumental in my journey. Learning about ACE accredited courses was huge in my journey. But I had to pursue it. I was skeptical, doubting, but to actually pursue it. And I did. There was a time I remember I was sitting at my desk working on a college essay, and I started getting really emotional. I know I'm still mad out here, but no, but I started
You're
getting
still a superhero, an emotional
yeah,
superhero,
yeah, I
right?
didn't even
Yeah.
show the S on my chest,
Yeah.
but I started getting really emotional. I don't know if it was because the birds were singing or the sun was shining beautiful. I don't know, but I started to think, whoa, here I am, this Barrio kid. I'm now enrolled in a university, doing college work and excelling at it, doing good. I'm doing well. I'm really earning these grades and working hard. And it really blew me away that just a few years ago, I was in the valley of despair and hopelessness. But here I am now, earning my bachelor's degree and being able to tell others, you can do it. You can do it. And it started with my GED. And there's so many colleges, universities that accept the GED. I never knew that. Like you said, the stigma that companies and that the society may have just from the lack of knowledge. And that's why I really give you praise for what your organization, what GED testing service is doing. Shout out to Victoria, what she's doing online too. But it's really amazing, and that's what we need. We need this information to be out to communities, marginalized, minority, low-income communities, to say, hey, the GED isn't the end; it's just the beginning, and that's key. That is key to me.
It is key. It's so good. And your story resonates with the thousands of learners that I've talked to over my career here. And I think the sentiment always comes through. It's the fear. It's the fear of holding learners back. And once you get past that fear, and again, I love it's the fear and the scariness, but showing up day after day and building that confidence, then you get more confidence and then you continue to pursue your dream. And I love your story. I love your passion, your enthusiasm.
Can I interject something?
Yes, of course.
And the consistency, the passion, those truly do matter. But it's also utilizing the resources that are available, to take advantage of. I'm not getting paid by GED testing services. This is what I truly mean. Taking it and utilizing what they offer, utilizing like someone who was instrumental in me facing the boogeyman, facing the monster under my bed, math. Kay Redmond from Light and Salt. The way she taught was the method was able for me to digest and to soak it up and to retain that information. We have to utilize those resources, those people that wanting to help, that want to see you succeed, that want to encourage you, that want to support you. Those are crucial because not everybody has the benefit of having a support system like I did, like my wife and my kids. But there's sites on Facebook, or the GED community. We're like a family. It really is like a family. We want to encourage. We want to say congratulations, way to go, and that's what I'll add to utilize those so important resources and support systems that are there for you to take full advantage of. And that's what really helped me defeat my giant and be where I am today.
Yeah, it's so true. And, we have 70,000 educators across the US that are there to help you in your states. And so where to start is go to GED.com, look at where you live, look at the resources on our website. We also recently just launched our GED in Me app. So go down the GED in Me app to help you also with resources. Gabriel is exactly right that there's so many people and opportunities to help you, again, achieve your dreams. So create your circle of educators and advocates such as GED Testing Service to help you get through that. So one last question for you is, I'm going to leave you with, what's your last word to everyone out there listening? What do you want everyone to know about you, your story, and what they should do?
Oh, last word. I know I said it before, but don't let fear, don't let your mind, the doubts in your mind, don't let it be that bird that comes and makes that nest on your head, in your mind. Pursue your dream, earn your GED. It's possible and you can do it. And it is just the beginning. It really is. The doors opening. So the GED is just the beginning. And your dreams, I'm telling you, your dreams will come true. Believe me.
Well, this has been such an honor to be with you today. And I can't tell you how proud I am of you and how you're changing the lives of millions of folks listening to this. So thank you not only for going after your GED, but for breaking the cycle and being such a huge advocate of the GED learner. What you're doing is really, really powerful and making a difference in the lives of so many and for generations to come. So it's been an honor to be with you, a pleasure to spend time with you. And I'll leave you with, be the one person that invests in another human's educational journey. Be the one person that gives someone else confidence in their beliefs in themselves, and be the one person that breaks the cycle. Because we all know that everyone has a story, and let's help everyone, as Gabriel has told us, accomplish their dreams. So thank you again for your time today. Stay tuned for our next episode of Education Unplugged. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your day.